question to you guys was, do you have any questions about how about all the parts of how the Charlie made his cloak? And if you do, we can go back. So why don't you guys, do you know how to turn and talk to your partner for a minute and find out if you have any questions about what happened in the story?
All right. Yes.
Okay, are we ready to come back? Okay, hi guys. So my question was, do you remember the steps that Charlie went through to make his cloak? What was the first thing Charlie had to do?
What was the first thing? What was the first thing that they had to do? What was the first thing? Okay, can you say it in front of the speaker? I don't know. You know what? I'll just take this off.
Shaved it off the sheep.
He did. He had to shear his sheep. He uses his shears to get the wool off. You know what? It's really nice because it doesn't hurt the sheep. In fact, after all winter long growing those big heavy coats, when it comes spring, they want to take that heavy fleece off. So that's good. It's helpful for the sheep. So that was the first thing. What's the next thing that he had to do?
Next thing, what happened next? They took it off the sheep, and then what happened? Josie? Hold on. Oh. Okay.
He washed it.
He did. He did wash it. He washed the fleece. That was very good. That was the second step in his making a cloak. Do you remember what the third thing was?
Okay, so he cut it off. He sheared it.
String the wool.
I'm sorry, he did.
He stringed the wool.
He stringed the wool, and it's called carding the wool. See how he's got the brushes in his hand? Just like the ones that I was using. He did that, so he straightened out. He carded or combed the wool. Very good. You guys are good at this. And then what happened after it's carded?
Hold on, Josie.
He dyed it.
Okay, he did dye it. There was one step in between there. He did dye it, but before he had to dye it, he had to spin the wool. He had to spin it so it could make thread. And after it became thread, then he went out and gathered the berries and put them in a pot and dyed the wool. Did you see the sheep? Isn't he funny?
Yes.
commenting on him there.
He is my favorite character in almost any book. He doesn't have any words, but he's my favorite character. And then after it's been dyed, what does Charlie do with his yarn?
Come on over, Alex. You forget? Oh, Isabella? Come tell.
It's my child's class.
Go ahead, Isabella.
Then it was winter and he put it on.
There was a few more steps between when he dyed it red and then he had to do something with the yarn to make the cloth. Oh, I see a hand going up.
Go ahead.
He sewed it together.
Before he sewed it together, you have the steps, but they're just a little out of order. There is one more step before he sewed it.
Maybe Selena, do you want to come help?
Anyone go?
He tried it out.
This is kind of hard because we don't normally do this. He put the yarn on a loom and he wove the cloth. So where I like to knit, Charlie likes to weave. So he has to make the cloth and then he cut it out and then he had to sew it together. And after he sewed it together, that's where at the end of the book he had a brand new cloak. But look,
The sheeps are eating it already.
he's such a bad little sheep, isn't he? He's so the author of this book, thank you for sitting quietly. I like that. So the author of the book, Tommy DePaula, wrote steps on how Charlie made a cloak. But I bet you know how to make things too. So today for your writing, when you go back to your seats or however you do your writing, I'd like you to think about something that you know how to do. Something that you can do. Maybe you don't even have to have an adult, something that you can do by yourself. And I want you to write about that. And so you can give us steps on how to learn how to do something new. Do you think you can do that?
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions? Any questions?
We have one over here.
Okay.
How do you put on a cloak?
Well, you know, that would be a really good how-to. Do you think, Mrs. Kolb, I should write you one and let you know how to do that? Yeah, I think that might be something that I'd have to write one too and tell you how to do that. I don't think it's very hard though, because it's a coat without sleeves. It's probably like putting on a coat without any sleeves. But does anybody have any questions about the writing you're going to do today?
I think we're good here.
Okay. Any? Okay, well, thank you very much for listening to my lesson today, and I look forward next week. Maybe we can share our writing with each other.
Awesome.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.